Good morning. I hope you're doing amazing today. I see a few people. Hello, Melinda. Never know if Melinda is in Texas or New Mexico. She could be either way. You never know where she's going to be. My screen's not working real well today. Well, I want to tell everybody, I hope you're having an amazing day. Hey, Janelle, good morning. Um, it's a cooler day in Georgia today. I hope y'all are getting some of the relief from summer headed your way. I love kicking off the month. It was kind of nice, wasn't it, that Labor Day was on the 1st, so we only really missed one day of September. It's a great day to have fun. I hope y'all had fun at the lake and maybe went to a football game this weekend or did something fun. Good morning, Mary Ellen. And I can't see who's joining from YouTube. I can only see those that are joining from Facebook. But what I'd love for you to do is we try and build this community and just spend some time together. Where, like, I know I couldn't be where Mary Ellen is this morning because she doesn't live close. And I know Melinda is in Texas and Janelle's not that far away, but she's too far away for me to like be in a coffee shop and sitting and having a conversation this morning. Stan's in North Carolina. I see, but through the power of technology, this is the one good thing that came out of the COVID generation is it taught us how we could connect better. not better than a hug or better than a handshake or eyeball to eyeball conversation, but we can connect with more frequently. So what I'd love for you to do is we're going to kick off September with a bang. We're going to focus on living with purpose every day. And I'll tell you what my theme for the month is in a minute. But would you put in the comments, would you tag anybody that you want to see this recording? Maybe they can join us now. Maybe they'll join us later. But what happens on Facebook stays on Facebook. I see one of my Cajun friends in Louisiana. Good morning, Amy. And I see Karen and Lori and Barbara and Trisha. Glad you guys are here. Go ahead and invite whoever you want to. Just tag them in the comments. That way they'll get a notice. And if they can't join now, that's great. They can join later. But at least they'll know we're missing them and we're having a good time of sharing some principles together. Okay? All right. Thank you for being here. It's I enjoy connecting with you guys. It's funny, like sometimes if we do Zoom, I can see your face, but I know that the engagement and the way we can do comments works so much better on Facebook. And so I guess what's one of your favorite things that you like to do in the fall? What's a big change in your activities or your family's activities or your life? What's a big change that happens when you go from summer? And depending on what age your kids are, it means school starts back. When summer's over, school starts back, fall happens. What do you love to do in the fall? What are some things you love to do? Football is one of mine. I love being watching on TV, going to football games, tailgating, being with friends and family. I love the energy that brings in the air. I know in the South it's more college football. Up north it seems like it's more NFL football. But I'd love to hear your comments about that. Okay, let's dive in here. For the month of September, we try and have a theme every month. And one of the things that I'm going to do for September is we're going to talk about something. I'm going to bring back something and really focus in on it. And it's so important to me. I wrote a book about it. It's why I'm in this business today. And it's all about the art and the craft of us being able to make the life we desire versus our life being about creating a paycheck. Even my Uncle David, after he joined us in the business, he named his business Life Design. I don't know, those of you that know David, I don't know that you even know that his company is called Life Design. But we're in this business to create a life. We didn't get in this business just to sell a nutritional product. We didn't get in this business just to create a monthly paycheck. I mean, that was important for Lori to make $1,000 a month when we got started. But the weeks and months and the longer I was in this business, I felt like I was in this business to meet people and change lives. I hope that registers with you guys. So this is what I think the world deals with. And I think the world deals with an alarm clock going off, a new day dawning, and they have to make a decision. Is there a reason to get up today? What's my why? Isn't it? Don't think about. Just close your eyes and think for a minute. Wouldn't it be miserable if that alarm clock went off and all you could think about was, I got to go to work. I got to get in traffic. I got to get to a meeting and turn my computer on. What if that was all that it was about? What if it wasn't about the people and lives you were going to interact with and what you were going to change that day? I think about my purpose and what I love to do and what I feel like I would be deprived. I'm not saying I do a good job of this. I'm not trying to be pious at all, but there was a point in time in which I realized that if I was going to function at a high level, that I felt like God's purpose for my life was I needed to know him better because I was the created, he was the creator, and I lived in the world he created. And if I could have a chance to know him, then I could function at a higher level in this world, that I could operate at the highest level if I knew the creator and how he designed me and how he wired me. So my purpose, when I began to figure out what it was like, okay, I want to know God better every day through his word, through people, through prayer, through the Holy Spirit. I want to know him better every day so that the people that he brings into my life, that I might share him with those that don't yet know him. So that was a cool. So I think about what if I lived in communist China? What if I lived in a communist country where it was illegal to worship God? It was illegal to have my Bible out. So my purpose was stolen from me. That would be miserable. To live life without knowing where your eternal destiny was settled in. That would be a miserable thing. But in today's world, did you know that there are people whose purpose is robbed from them because they're chained to a cubicle, a computer, and a commute? And that's what I saw when I got in this business. And what really inspired me and wired me was there has to be a way to stop trading hours for dollars. There has to be a way for me and Lori and for me to help all these people that I know that are slaves to, just the creation of a paycheck. And one of the things that I learned was that I had to create a business that allowed me to be who God wanted me to be. I had to have a paycheck that came in that funded that life. The creation of the paycheck didn't need to be what conflicted and was an obstacle for that. And if you want a good book to read, not Experiencing God, what's the name of that book? Oh, I've lost the title in my brain. John Piper wrote the book. Maybe it's Knowing God. Experiencing God was Henry Blackaby, but John Piper wrote a book. I may think of it in a minute, but it was all about, he started out talking about that we should be hedons. The word hedonism. Anybody know what the word hedonism means, or what does it mean to be a hedon? Anybody know? Let's see who's quick. What is hedonism? I don't know if the comment section is going to go fast enough for me to wait on you guys. I am not a patient person. If haven't figured that out about me from being online with me, I have silence just kills me just to let it sit there and wait. But nobody knows I don't think anybody knows what hedonism is because nobody's answering. I'll tell you because I can't wait any longer. It's the pursuit of pleasure. You've seen enough stuff on the news with this Epstein thing and P. Diddy. And that's what you think of. Yes, there you go. For the sake of pleasure, some seeking pleasure. I know what y'all did. Y'all just took long enough to chat GPT it. That's what you did. You used the power beyond the immediate. That's good. That's the right answer, Mary Ellen. But all these people that seek pleasure. And so you read this Christian author, John Piper, and he says, every Christian should be a hedonist. And you're like, what in the heck? I've always been taught maybe that the Christian thing to do was the opposite of being a pleasure seeker. And he goes on to explain, he says, no, you don't understand. He says, yes, God has a plan for your life. He has a purpose for you. And here's the deal. You should seek and pursue that to its fullest, because that's where the most ultimate pleasure is that for the created to live the life exactly as the Creator designed it for them. So if we live to pursue that purpose, and we craft the ways we make money, we craft how we do things so that we can do that, then we're seeking pleasure, but it's the right pleasure. It's the ultimate place of satisfaction and happiness. And so let me connect the dots. You're like, okay, I didn't know. It's maybe this is pretty good, but I didn't know Kurt was going to preach a sermon this morning. I thought we were going to do start well for the month of August. So here you go. So your purpose should drive your goals for the month. Think about that. First of all, I would love if any of you want to call me and we can talk about it and maybe help you pursue it. But I mean, I know for a fact that if you seek from God, why did he put you here on this earth? That's Rick Warren's question from his book. Why am I on this earth? Ask that question. Ask God to give you an answer. He'll give you an answer. I promise you. You will uncover why you're wired the way you're wired, why you're made the way you're made, and what you're on this earth to do, what your bigger purpose is. And it may not be overnight, but it'll get revealed to you if you want to know it. So some people might say purpose and why, the word W-H-Y, Simon Sinek, why, Viktor Frankl's why, when he said, if the why is strong enough, the how-to will come. Viktor Frankl of Nazi prison camp, a survivor, wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning, and he said, I survived when most died because I had a why and a purpose. What I wanted to do when I got out was driving me to survive, to get there, to enjoy that benefit. So your why, your purpose, affects your month. And that's what we're talking about, starting the month of September well. So what would be something, your goals, what drives you to get up? What affects your week, your day, your week, your month? And we're here talking about beginning of the month. Set the intentions for the month. What in the world does that look like? You know, I try to help you a little bit every week. I have a text message that we spend a considerable amount of time trying to find something that's meaningful for you for that week. Kind of a little miniature cattle prod. The shock doesn't hurt, but it wakes you up and says, okay, a new week's here. Kurt's reminding me a new week's here. Here's a thought for the week. And here's a reminder that if I don't make this week happen, the world is going to let it happen, and the world is going to influence my week instead of me dictating what my week's going to be like, you know? And one of the things, let me see one thing. Let me look at one thing here. Right? I'm going to look ahead real quick. Okay. One of the things that I want you to think about is as we're talking about your why and what is yours. I mean, I don't, maybe you don't know what yours is, but I know for a fact this month can be a piece, a brick in the wall, a window in your house. If your why or your purpose is this house you're building and you're trying to get it finished so you can achieve your why, your purpose, you can see this completed project. You can see that tomorrow. And you begin to work on, is that in here? Yeah, okay. You begin to think about your why. It's so important. I mean, it's what motivates you to do what you do. It's what made me get up and make decisions and do the things that I do today. So when you think about your why, here's how I think of it. I think of your why, your purpose. To me, it's not a thing. It's more of it's the fuel that you run on. You know, they say one of the most unhappy person in the world is the purposeless person. Someone who wakes up every day without purpose. How many of you know? I mean, I know people that are wealthy, um, that don't have to worry about money, and they've chosen to invest their life in, golf 6 days a week. I love playing golf. Once a week is usually plenty for me. Sometimes I play twice, occasionally, but I would say once a week is the most I usually play golf. Maybe it's usually like 2 or 3 times a month. I love to play golf, but it doesn't feel like it's fulfilling my purpose and who I am if I overdid it. And so I see people that wake up and there's some that I feel like that's all they have to look forward to. It's kind of strange, Um, and their life evolves around that. I'm thinking about different people right now. So, but I think of your purpose or your why as I think of it as the fuel in your gas tank. And some of you may be waking up feeling like your tank's empty. And this is a question to ask yourself, and maybe you want to comment. I'm not very good at getting you guys to Desiring God. Melinda is the name of that book. Thank you for checking. The book by John Piper is called Desiring God. That's it. Melinda was close, but the book is called Desiring God. Anyway, so where are you today if we decide that your purpose, passion, why, your calling, different words that really they don't always but can mean the same thing depending on how you're using that word in context. But how many of you right now would say you're not moving forward where your purpose, passion is fueling your life? How many of you feel like you're operating on an empty tank right now? And that's very much okay if that's where you are. I mean, it's where you are. If it is where you are, it is where you are. So it's not an embarrassing thing. It's not a bad thing or a wrong thing. But we need to know where we are. Like when you wake up every day, because I mean, here's another thought. If we're going to start well and make this month amazing, one of the number one things that I see in our industry and our business, and really in the home-based business, maybe the small business startups where you're an entrepreneur, the upside in the what you can do is so huge. But the number one problem is you could say it's time management, but what I really have found that people that are successful versus those that aren't, it's have they learned how to manage their self? And one of the, do you get up and seize the day, even if you don't have to get in the car and commute and drive to an office and a desk for a meeting with a certain wardrobe on? Do you get up and seize the day? In those that do and those that don't. So that's the distinguishing fact between successful and not successful people. I can tell you that for sure. I've been doing this for 39 years. But why would somebody do that versus not? If you own your own business, you got big goals, big potential, why do you get up and seize the day versus the next person just kind of lets the day happen? Because they feel like they have the freedom to do that, so they take advantage of that freedom. And the reason is the person that gets up and pursues the day without a boss and a cubicle and an office they have to be at in a certain wardrobe at a certain time. The reason they do that is because they have a purpose. They have a why. They have a reason that drives them to get up. Good morning, Rhonda Hubbard. She's my sunflower in my life. Hope you're having a great day, Rhonda. So what drives you is your purpose. And so it's okay, but right now, if you feel like your tank is empty, that you're running on fumes, that you're low, I want to fill that tank back up this morning. I can't create your purpose, or you can't, you can't take my purpose. You can't take Wendy Campbell's purpose or Don Rathman or Rhonda Hubbard's or Jeff Roberti's. You can't steal our purpose or our why. But what you can know is that we're successful because we have a why, because we have a purpose, and we've chosen to let that drive our decisions. We've chosen to let that start our month And as we go later, you'll see on the calendar, we'll have a finish strong call. Start well, finish strong. That purpose and that why drives us to use urgency at the end of the month instead of procrastination. Because procrastination will take over if you're not pursuing your purpose. Okay? All right, let's look one step further. So, how do you define your why? Everybody is going to do it a little bit different, I think. This was so important to me I started on this journey when I was 13. So remember now we're using the word purpose and why. Simon Sinek's why and Rick Warren's your purpose. We're using those simultaneously. To me, the word purpose connects a little bit more to an eternal perspective, although why does too. And my mom's favorite saying was, if the why is strong enough, the how has come. That's Viktor Frankl. And I would tell you that's a great book and you should read it. It's called Man's Search for Meaning, but it is a huge book and it's something you should read when you can't go to sleep at night. But that quote in there is absolutely amazing. So I need you to define your why. We're going to talk about that here for just a minute, okay? So, well, let me do this first. This was important enough to me. I did write a book about it. And the revealing of my why, that Kairos moment, that moment in time where my normal timeline of life was broken and something happened. And I made decisions that were geared towards my purpose. If you want to hear my story, you can get my book on Audible. You can get it online. And if you can't afford it and you want to read it, I'll send you a PDF for free. So I'm not in the book business. I'm in the business of getting a message out to people. Okay. Isn't it strange how what the phone can interrupt, which apps? It drives me crazy when I get a phone call and I'm on Voxer. But let's talk about, I ask you this question: how do you define your why? And this is the clearest explanation for me. Okay. And I want you to do this because here's the deal. I want you to take this month. I want you to have a goal for this month. And I'm not trying to make this not attached to starting well. This is all about starting well. I want your goal this month to be attached to your why or your purpose. What you set as your goal for this month, then the activities you do should be towards fulfilling your purpose, funding your purpose, a step in the right direction towards your purpose. And so I want you to think about this a minute. And you've heard me use this. Tommy Newberry, one of my dear friends, and I want you to raise, how many of you have, and put their first name down there. How many of you have a friend that even if you didn't see them for 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 10 years, you could reconnect with them and it was just like you'd seen them yesterday? Can y'all think about that? Can you think about a person in your life that neither time nor geography nor levels of education, success in life, none of those things can separate that relationship or friendship? Tommy's that kind of friend for me. And we both are very purpose driven. We both love God with all of our heart and try to pursue him the best we can. And, he's helped me put words and flesh onto this skeleton of, if the why is strong enough, the how will come. What on earth am I here for, says Rick Warren. Why am I here? And Tommy says, what if your why was your next tomorrow? And I'll give you his exact quote in a minute, but what if where you wanted to be at the end of this month for your paycheck? Let's throw that out there. What would you like your paycheck to be that you get between the 1st and the 10th of October for the month of September? What would you like your paycheck to be? That's a good goal for tomorrow. What would you like your title to be? Is there a promotion you need to receive? Would you like for September to be the first month that you said, I'm going to be in qualification for all my bonuses and I'm going to put a stake in the ground, and this is going to be the first month that I do it. I don't ever not do it again. What if your why, what if your next tomorrow was not the amount of your paycheck, but listen to this, this is a different way. What if you have a goal of what your pay, if your paycheck was X, let's just say $1,000. No, let's say 900. Let's say if your check was $900 this month, we'll start small. You would blank. You would buy all of your kids new shoes that they're still in shoes that you couldn't afford. You would put that money in an account and decide you were going to put $900 a month for the next 12 months in an account to take your kids on this amazing vacation. You were going to help pay household expenses that you weren't able to do before. And what if your check this month was 5,000? What would you do? It's 5,000 is the way you measure it statistically, but how you use it to fulfill your why and your purpose and your reason is what's really going to drive you to go after that. It will totally change your today. And let me give you one example for me. There are a lot of people that I know, like next generation, that more than ever want to be able to pursue their passion and purpose and have a reason. Like they want purpose in what they do for a job. I think just deeply, innately, they want that. I also know that they've always had whatever they wanted because they've always had Google. They could just snap their fingers, ask a question, and get an answer. It's scary to think about the next emerging generation that's had a Chat GPT robot to do anything they wanted at their beckoning command. You ought to try the new Nano Banana. It's part of Google's Gemini AI. It can create a picture of anything you want. You just tell it what you want a picture of. You could like upload. I could upload Rhonda's picture, and I could tell it, I want you to take this beautiful lady's face and her beautiful blonde hair, and I want you to put that face and hair at the center of an army of sunflowers that I want to go out to accomplish my mission. And it would create me an army of Rhonda sunflowers. I mean, it's crazy what this, I didn't mean to use you as an example, Rhonda, but I just was thinking about sunflowers and you as I said that. So we're going to be dealing with a generation that's never not had that. That's scary. I mean, they've had like literally everything's been easy for them. So when you have a generation, like right now, we have a generation that's never not had Google, never not had the internet. And so before AI was the next level, they had creature comforts and they were able to say they had it easy because information was always available to them. They had what they needed whenever they did, they just asked. So they get into a business like ours and they want what I have, what Rhonda has, what Mary Ellen or Melinda, somebody that's poured into this business and that's getting a reward now because of the hard work they put in. They don't connect they just want what they want. It's not like all of them don't mind hard work, but they don't connect it. No, now I see what Kurt did over a season of time because he had a why and a purpose that was driving him. I see what he did to build the business he has today. So as we work with this next generation, who are you going to talk to this month that you're going to use your purpose and can purpose become a part of your story? It's so, I mean, right now I think people just talk about, I want to build a healthier world. That's too generic. I mean, Lori and I got started. Sure, we wanted to sell the product to as many people as we could, but you know what? Lori and I went out and told the story. Lori, we're so excited. Lori's been able to quit her job because we found a business she could do from home that she needed to make $1,000 a month, and she made way more than that her first month. We got 38 customers, and we're going to build a business, and it's going to allow her to be able to be at home and be the mom she wanted to be. There was no big money attached to that. 3 months later, I joined her full time, and we had bigger goals and bigger dreams, and national marketing director was our target with all the benefits and six-figure income and all those things. But it was us sharing how what we were doing was fulfilling our purpose. Think about that. Can you go out this month, have a goal that's in alignment with your why, your purpose, your tomorrow? So set a right goal. It's only the third of the month. You got time. I always want you to have your call with your mentor and your goal setting phone call. I want you to do that at the beginning of the month. Make plans. And then who are you going to attract this month because they understand your purpose, your why, and your reason for doing this? It also is going to drive you to make the phone calls. I mean, this is going to shock you, and I'm going to push hard, but you really, really, really need to come to Indianapolis. If you're not planning on coming to Indianapolis, you're making a big mistake. It's a new day. It's a new place, a new season that, yes, you can hear from those of us that are there when we get back. But if you want to experience how this business can help you accomplish your why, your purpose, and change your family for generations, you'll make some adjustments to be in Indy. I hope you'll be there. Okay, let's keep going. So this month, we're going to change from just activities to we're going to incorporate our purpose into our plans for the month. Everything we do this month needs to line up with our purpose, our why, our passion, and our calling. I know Melinda put in there, she's going to get back to a 511. That's a good activity that's going to help her fulfill her purpose and her why. Doing a 511 is not her why. Doing a 511, because that activity is now fueled by knowing clearly her purpose, she'll more likely do it than instead of her just deciding that was a task that Wendy Campbell said was a good idea. Okay? There's a big difference. Big, huge difference. All right? Now, we just recorded this morning, actually, a new podcast that's about we talked about knowing what I know now and what it took for me to build this business and what I do every day to build this business and connect it with my purpose and my why. We talked about what are some of those things that I would tell my 20-year-old self if I were to go back and reflect. We covered a couple of those principles on our podcast. It'll come out the second and fourth Thursdays. And I will tell you this, on September the 29th, we have a new product, a new category, a new breakthrough product coming out in Indianapolis. And I'm under a NDA. I can't tell you the details, but one of the doctors that's going to be on the main stage explaining this product, they're going to be on live with me on Facebook, YouTube, and on my podcast on Monday, September the 29th, the day after conference. So I've already got that arranged. Super excited about that. So I wanted to tell you about that. But we just recorded that podcast this morning, but you can go to right now, and we talked about two of them on the podcast, but there are 11 things that Trey really dug out of me that we were 22 and 23 when we started in this business. If I was speaking back to my 20-year-old self that was just getting started in this business today, what would I tell my 20-year-old self? And so that is on the YouTube, youtube.com/makealife. You can snapshot that QR code right there. And I don't know if Hope is on here or not, but if anybody is on here, and Hope or Trey, if you want to throw the link to that in the chat, you can. But it's on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/makealife. And I'm not in YouTube, is my business. I use it as a platform to share. But when I put stuff out there, if you want to just be notified when we share new stuff, you can click on the subscribe button. It'll tell you when we put new stuff out there, okay? Another thing that is up on that channel is we just did our halftime for Best Year Ever. We took a perspective of you're coming in from the first half of the game and you're in the locker room. It's just a great time. It was a picture that I could not share with you this time of the year. You're in a locker room, and there are all these amazing coaches. You've got Kirby Smart. You've got Ryan Day at Ohio State. You've got Mike Norvell, the job he did at FSU playing Alabama this past weekend. Um, you've got, I'm trying to think of some others. The one at LSU, what's his name? Brian Kelly at LSU. What they do to motivate at halftime. So I said, that's who we are. That's how our business works. We need to hear from our head coach. We need to hear offensive strategy, defensive strategy, so we can go out of this locker room and better win the next part of the game. And so there's a video, and I think it turned out amazing. You can judge for yourself or ask somebody else. But our head coach, Travis Garza, our CEO, and then Loretta Wilkins, Don Rathman, and Kerry Daigle. Kerry Daigle gets in your corner. If any of you, like, from COVID, from digital transformation, from just frustration, I mean, we all should be down and out for the count with the leadership we had the last 4 years in our country. It's amazing what's coming out, how absent it actually was. But we've got COVID, digital craziness, lack of leadership. How many of you feel like you were gut punched or punched in the mouth or punched in the nose? I know I do. And in this video, the good thing is we have Kerry Daigle, former boxer, former boxing manager and coach, former boxing promoter. He is in while you're sitting on your stool in the corner of the ring after being punched. He is in the corner with some smelling salts, with a wet towel, and he's whispering in your ear, when we started this fight, you were supposed to win. You're better than your competition. You're better than the obstacle in front of you. But you got to get back up and fight. You can't let the blows you've taken take you out, because it's not who you are. You've let the situations make you look like you're less than the person God created you to be. Now go back out there, kick butt, take names, and win this fight. So Kerry Daigle is going to be in your corner on this video, and then I'll share just a few minutes too. But you might want to watch that video. It's at the same place, youtube.com/makealife, or you can find it on the website, Make a Life. But it's the whole video's there. But then you've got broken down, you've got what Travis, Loretta, Don, and Kerry, what each of them said. Their messages individually are there too if you want to listen to it and break it down that way. Here's what's in store for the rest of the month. On the 5th, that's day after tomorrow, we'll do our live power hour at 11 a.m. Okay? And that's a time for us just to roll up our sleeves and go to work together and do important things. It's kind of like getting on the scale at Weight Watchers. It's just a time of accountability to do things that matter. So we're going to do that. And then on the 17th, we've got a special training for you. It's going to be really good. It's about purpose. It's about goals and aligning with those things. And it's really, really going to be good. I'm super excited about it. And then we're not going to do a finish strong call because we will be in Indianapolis. Okay. And then our new product comes out, and we'll have that doctor on stage with us on YouTube, Facebook, and our podcast on Monday, September the 29th. Don't forget that. If you are coming to conference, we would love for you to join Babby Mason as she leads us and inspires us in an amazing time of worship. So you can come join Babby and us on Friday morning, makealife.com/worship. And I'm going to end with this slide. There is a big surprise in Indy. I teased you about it just a minute ago. But I don't know why the side's doing that. That's weird. There's a box. There's a thing. There's something that's going to be shared with you in Indy that when you open it up, you're going to be jaw dropped. It's going to be exciting. So I can't tell you what it is, though. I know you want to know, but I can't tell you. But you really need to come to Indy. Where I'm going to drive. It's not that far from Georgia. I don't know where you guys live, but you can drive, you can fly, you can just come. You need to be there Friday and Saturday. You'd come Thursday night and you could leave Saturday afternoon. You miss the big party and not get to dress up like your favorite Hollywood movie star Saturday night, but you would get to find out the big surprise. So you want to be there, okay? And if you need me for anything, it is my joy, literally, if you want to build a business that would help you know, identify, and it would fund the pursuit of you fulfilling your purpose in this life that God created for you, I get fired up about that. I get fired up about getting people out of the trap of trading hours for dollars to create a paycheck and helping them make creating the life God designed for them priority one. And then you create a paycheck that funds, supports, and becomes a foundation for that. So you can get me. I mean, I'm at Kurt Beavers anywhere. I got into the internet stuff early enough that from, I don't use AOL, but from AOL to Yahoo to Google to Gmail, Facebook, anything, you can find me at Kurt Beavers, okay? Or go to the website, makealife.com. You can find me, and it'd be my joy to help you on your journey, okay? God bless. Have an amazing day, and maybe we'll see some of you guys on Friday for the Power Hour, okay? Be blessed.